Good evening. Welcome to the Tuesday, October 7th, 2025 school committee meeting here in the new Tyngsborough Middle School in the Flex Performance Space. My name is Ryan McMahon. I'm the chair. I call this meeting to order. I will start with introductions to my right.
Student Representative Cameron Times.
Hi, Joe Messina, School Business Administrator.
Anthony Tenerella.
Bert Bushman. Rob Mullen.
Stacy Guido.
Daniela Thanis.
Becky Stanton.
Hi, Mike Flanagan, Superintendent.
Mike Woodlock, Assistant Superintendent.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As a reminder, these meetings are audio and video recorded. I will seek a motion to approve the September 9, 2025 school committee and executive session minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? That carries 700. I will seek a motion to approve the 9/23/2025 policy subcommittee, school committee, and executive session minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
Abstain.
That passes 601. Just a reminder that the executive session minutes will not be released at this time. Citizen time. Before we begin, I'd like to remind everybody that each member has 2 minutes to speak. When you come up to the mic, please say your name and your address. And topics relevant for discussion need to be on the agenda, and please keep it respectful. Okay. Is the mic, Dustin,
Is the
there's a
mic green?
button right on the front, green, perfect.
I can
Thank you.
just use my.
Fancy.
Good evening, everyone. I want to speak tonight in response to the current hysteria created by parents over-dramatizing recent events. The very reason parents are responding this way is the very reason symbols of support are necessary in the classroom, which is why I've ordered rainbow magnets for each teacher to display in their classroom. As soon as they come in, I will give them out to the schools. In regards to displaying the flag in a classroom, it's not about politics. It's about inclusion and respect. It's not about sexuality or ideology. It's about acknowledging human diversity. People have mentioned unity under the American flag, but if those really believed in liberty and justice for all, we would not be here tonight fighting for those who do not receive their liberties. And if not everybody feels seen under the American flag, then maybe they should have a conversation about that instead of pushing their beliefs on others. When a teacher flies the flag, they're not promoting a belief system. They're saying to students, you belong here. In middle school, that message matters. These are years when students are forming their sense of identity and self-worth. Seeing symbols of acceptance reminds them that they are valued just as they are. Some have called this grooming or pushing an agenda, but that's simply not true. Displaying a flag of inclusion doesn't change who anyone is. It's not a recruitment flag. It just tells students that differences are okay. Teachers have a responsibility to make their classrooms welcoming for all students. Research or data, and education is now driven by data, that when students feel safe and seen, they learn better and treat others with more compassion. That's what this flag supports, a stronger, kinder learning environment. So let's be clear, flying the flag doesn't divide our community, it unites it. In light of the growing homophobia in town, this is even more important than ever. It sends one powerful message. Every student deserves to be respected and accepted. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Anybody else want to speak?
Hello,
Hi.
I'm Tracy Liebberg, 42 Lawndale. All feelings are valid, and that doesn't make them facts. Someone else's fear does not become my reality just because you feel it very strongly. Your faith can be your compass, and mine is my compass. Posting lies on a public forum and fabricating attacks on a teacher's reputation and motives is not the answer to different opinions. It's libel. If this were a situation where sexually explicit material or conduct was being presented to minors, then yes, we should all have a crisis response, but that is not what is happening here. The pride flag is a promise that no one will be excluded anymore. There isn't one straight person here who has had to decide if it was safe to say, I'm straight, or worry you're going to be disowned or kicked out of your church, or that you shouldn't exist because you're straight. This is taught behavior. The pride flag exists because LGBTQ people were excluded, expected to hide, or someone's idea of wrong, and some people preferred it that way. Classrooms are for learning. They should reflect the subjects being taught and inclusion, inquiry, and safety. That's what prepares students for success in the real world. Discrimination and bullying might fly somewhere else, but it doesn't fly in the workplace. Identity is our innate makeup. Just being left-handed or an introvert, having brown eyes, naturally more adventurous. And LGBTQ kids are far more likely to think about or commit suicide, and having just one accepting adult in their life reduces that likelihood by 40%. 40%. So this teacher and her flag are literally saving lives.
Thank you.
Hello, I am Whit Vaughn. I am a high school student, 19 Glendale Ave, Tyngsborough. So, I am here today to speak as an ally of the LGBTQIA+. Hate has spread across this town like a wildfire on both sides of the argument. The displaying of a pride flag in a classroom is protected under Massachusetts law with the teacher's discretion. The pride flag is shown to make students feel included in a classroom and to represent students or adults that are a member of the LGBTQIA community. Another flag that has been hung up in classrooms is the intersex flag, which represents people born with both body parts. That is not a choice, they are born like that, so there should be no arguments against this flag. I would like to conclude by saying everybody should feel welcome in a classroom no matter what. Please eradicate hate in classrooms and let teachers do what they want in their classrooms in order to make everyone feel welcomed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name's Jonathan McLaren. I live on 41 Glendale Ave. And I have 2 children that attend Tyngsborough Elementary. And I'm here to push back against this flag. This flag, to me, people that surround me, is a sexual flag. It represents nothing other than sexual things: gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, and questioning. What business is it of anyone on this board of what children would like to do with other children? It's nobody's business, and it should be kept at home. And by the way, education is the cornerstone of a thriving society. Schools must remain focused on fundamental purposes: teaching core academic subjects such as reading, writing, history, and mathematics. As a taxpayer in this town, I contribute to the salaries and educators to everybody here on this staff. And I expect that public education remains dedicated to academic excellence, not a flag. Everyone is welcome, and everyone is a whole. Nobody should be separated. Personal or political agendas have no place in the classroom, and schools should be environments through knowledge, not influenced by ideologies unrelated to their education and education only. Thank you.
Thank you.
Heike Peterman, 42 Lawndale. Representation and visibility are not small things. They are powerful tools of inclusion, and without them, too many people are left feeling like outsiders or left wondering if they are really accepted and welcome, especially for things beyond their control. I've seen this truth across so many experiences. As an immigrant, walking into public space or workplace and see different languages or symbols of diversity, I know immediately, my voice matters here. I matter here. For a child who speaks another language at home, they can feel pride instead of shame or confusion when they see bilingual books and signs in the classroom. This simple example of belonging tells them you belong here too. It doesn't say English is bad or not as important. That's also why symbols like the pride flag matter. It represents civil rights, safety, and belonging for students and families who have historically been excluded and even harmed just for being who they are. Just like the American flag represents democracy, our history, and diversity, and the Statue of Liberty represents opportunity, democracy, friendship, and freedom from depression. The pride flag doesn't take dignity away from anyone. It doesn't promote violence or superiority. It affirms that LGBTQ people and their families belong. It tells every child, whether they are LGBTQ themselves, have gay parents, or have a gender-fluid friend, that they matter and their family matters, and they are seen and welcome, and that they are welcome. And knowing you are specifically welcomed matters. It removes any doubt and replaces it with mutual dignity, shared responsibility, and connection. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Beth Adams. I live at 11 Lovers Lane. I'm a resident of this community, a member of the LGBTQ+ community, and a parent of a middle schooler here in our district. I'm here today to express my support for inclusive measures in our schools, specifically the display of the Pride flag, and to share why I believe it benefits all students. The Pride flag is a symbol of inclusion, safety, and respect, something that I did not benefit from when I went to school. In a school setting, it communicates that all students who identify as LGBTQ+, those who are questioning, and those from LGBTQ+ families like mine, are seen and supported. But the impact goes beyond these groups. It also benefits their peers by promoting empathy, reducing stigma, and encouraging a culture of kindness. Middle school is a critical time for identity development and social learning. According to the National Association of School Psychologists, inclusive school climates where LGBTQ+ students are authentically accepted lead to better academic, social, emotional, and life outcomes. Their research shows that visible supports such as pride flags helps reduce bullying and improves students' sense of safety and belonging. Importantly, inclusive measures also support students from conservative or religious households, including those families who may not affirm identities like mine. These students may be navigating conflicting messages between home and school. When schools model respect for all identities, it helps these students develop empathy, critical thinking, and emotional resilience. It also gives them a safe space to ask questions and learn about diversity in a respectful, age-appropriate way. It's worth noting that support for LGBTQ+ students isn't exclusive to any political party. Many conservative families care deeply about values like dignity, fairness, respect, and protecting children from harm. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Carolyn Scafidi, 13 Lynn Avenue, but I'm reading a letter for Maura Armich, 47 Flint Road, who asked me to read this tonight. Dear school committee members, I am a retiree whose children graduated from Tyngsborough High School in 2008 and 2011. As a longtime resident of Tyngsborough whose taxes support our school system, I am writing to show my support for the display of pride flags in our schools. The presence of pride flags shows all students that our schools are safe spaces where everyone is valued for who they are. For many young people, the pride flag provides reassurance that they are not alone and that their school stands with them against bullying, discrimination, and exclusion of all kinds. By embracing symbols of inclusion, our schools encourage empathy, understanding, and open-mindedness, qualities that are essential for academic and personal growth. I respectfully urge the committee to support the continued or expanded display of pride flags in our classrooms. It's important that we take a strong stand to show our schools are places where every student can feel welcome and safe. Thank you for your time, Maura Armich and 47 Flint Road, and I also concur with Maura. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kristen Benjamin, 14 Virginia Road. Sorry, I don't have anything written up as I do have 5 small children coming through the school system. I had something written on something that's not being discussed today, so I'm just going to leave it at this. What if this was a Trump flag?
Hello, my name is PJ Mercier. I live in Tyngsborough. It has become clear that the display of certain flags cause division within our community and within our schools. We already have a flag that unites us all, and as per the school department's policy of March 25th, 2025, that states that flag to be the American flag and the town flag. When we begin introducing additional flags or symbols that represent specific groups, whether that be a religious flag, a pride flag, or any other type of group-affiliated flag, we risk walking the thin line of discrimination and lawsuits. The fundamental purpose of our public school educators is to educate children in core academic areas: math, science, history, literature, and related subjects. When we allow symbols that express favoritism towards particular groups or ideologies, we move away from that mission. By definition, such favoritism mirrors some of the same principles behind sexism, racism, and other forms of bias. It elevates one group's identity, beliefs over others. In conclusion, I respectfully request that the school committee hold to the current policy that ensures neutrality and avoids favoritism towards any particular ideology. Specifically, the American flag and state flag and the town flag are symbols that represent and unite everyone in our community, regardless of our background or beliefs. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Thank you. My name's Courtney McLaren. I live at 41 Glendale Ave. I'm standing up against the agenda that's happening in my children's classrooms and everywhere around the country. I'm a Catholic. My kids know the difference between a man and a woman. There is no need to push this any agenda or propaganda on our little children. There's no need to push them to explore their sexuality at the age that they're at. As he said and my husband said, it should be about education, mathematics, history, all of that. It should not be about trans, gay, lesbian, anything. They're little kids. The only flag that should be flown is the American flag. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kim Rao, and I live at 16 Michigan Road. I have been a middle school teacher in a different district for over 20 years. I personally put up anything kids give me: pride flags, paintings, woodworking projects, sketches, origami creations, etc. I had a former student come back years later and tell me that she's an out lesbian now, but when she started having crushes during her middle school years, she remembered that I had a rainbow peace flag in my class, hanging in my classroom, and therefore knew she would be accepted by me. It was quite an important moment and verifies that letting members of marginalized communities know my classroom is a safe place is very important. Teachers should be able to display pride flags if they would like. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hi, my name is Janine Ward. I didn't plan on speaking. I'm at 30 Windermere Drive. I'm a retired school social worker, LCSW, and a Gay Straight Alliance advisor. And I know what a rainbow flag means because I had kids who went through getting bullied. It has nothing to do with sex. It has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with what people are trying to make it sound like. It has to do with feeling safe. If you want kids to go to school and actually learn, They have to be able to learn. And when your amygdala is the only thing that's thinking, you cannot learn. I'm currently, I think, having an amygdala moment, so I'm trying very hard to say things that make sense. But when you're in school and you're being bullied, which I was, and it had nothing to do with sex, it had nothing to do with anything. I didn't even know anything. I just knew I got picked on a lot. When you know you have a person or a place that's safe, you can learn. When you do not, when you constantly get picked on by kids, when you get bullied by kids, when you do not think there's any safe place, then you do not. Now, I was here when William Weld instituted the GSA in Massachusetts. I don't know if that's not legal anymore or what happened, but I thought the rainbow flag was, according to Massachusetts state law, something that was done now. I don't know, maybe we've gone back. I am retired. I didn't expect to come out tonight, but here I am because I don't want any more suicide by kids who have no hope. That's it.
Thank you.
Good evening. Courtney Mulroy, 88 Farwell Road. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. Massachusetts Law, Chapter 71, Section 69, requires that every classroom displays the United States flag. It says nothing about banning inclusive symbols. The law is clear the U.S. flag must be present, but nothing in our state code prevents teachers from also displaying the pride flag. The pride flag is not a political statement. It's a message of safety, belonging, and respect. There's a reason many of our local churches opt to display it on their buildings. I, too, am a Catholic. It tells every student, you are valued here exactly as you are. When schools create that environment, every single child benefits. Research consistently shows that visible signs of support for LGBTQ+ students save lives. LGBTQ+ students who see affirming signs, like a pride flag at school, are 26% less likely to attempt suicide. Inclusive school climates also report lower rates of depression and bullying amongst all students. Creating inclusion isn't just about flags, it's also about education. Teaching about different identities does not make anyone gay or change who a child is. It does give students the language and understanding to navigate who they are and how to respect others. When young people are developing empathy and identity, lessons that include diverse perspectives improve mental health, reduce bullying, and build stronger school communities, according to the American Psychological Association. This seems to be a lesson that adults in this town can also benefit from, given the way people speak to one another about this topic. When people spread false narratives, misinformation, it's dangerous and creates an unnecessary and hateful ripple effect in the town. This impacts the well-being and safety of every single person, from teachers doing their best to teach children, to the children of our community. Together, the pride flag and inclusive teaching practices send a unified message. This classroom is a place of safety and respect and belonging for everyone. I urge the committee to affirm that allowing the pride flag in a classroom is consistent with Massachusetts law and with our moral and educational duty to protect every student's right to learn in a safe and inclusive environment. Thank you.
Dustin Poole, 176 Sherburne Ave. So we came here prepared for a different topic that's not on the agenda, so I won't approach that. We would not.
Before you start, I just want to remind you, please don't mention any specific names.
I will.
Thank you.
Yep. So we would not have been here, but given the events that did transpire this week, and it's clear that this one teacher, which is also under this scrutiny here, is pushing personal political beliefs and agenda on her students. We sent an email complaining about another issue that was regarding sexual activity and sexual orientation. It was not regarding the flag in any way. It was regarding sexual orientation, and that contents of that email were leaked to other students, and our student, our daughter, our 8-year-old daughter, was approached and bullied and called hateful comments. My little girl has not a hateful bone in her body, and because of this, because of these actions, and because of the results of that, she was bullied herself. So it goes both ways, guys. There's a huge division in our country, in our community, and in our school. We need to address the issues at their core. We need to keep schools focused on education, STEM, math, reading. That's it.
Wendy McDonald. I live at 29 Shakespeare Street. I am a resident of Tyngsborough. I'm a former teacher, and I have two children who were formerly TMS students. The hatred that is being slung about over a flag and over state-approved curriculum is exactly the reason why this curriculum is needed. While at TMS, my children witnessed relentless bullying directed at a close friend who came out as trans. This bullying, sometimes even from staff, led one of my children to fear expressing their own gender openly. Had pride flags been available and been in classrooms and displayed at that time, those classrooms would have been a haven for my kids and their friends. My children were fortunate enough to escape Tyngsborough Public Schools, but their friend was not. With the current rise in authoritarian attitudes, Christian nationalism, and brazen violence against anyone who is not white, straight, or male, pride flags and curriculum designed to guide students towards building community and respecting and caring for the basic humanity of others is more important than ever. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Hi, I'm Tara, Lawndale Road. I have a script, but I've been taking a lot of notes because I'm irritated because I feel like this isn't new. People being gay isn't new, but they've had to keep it secret forever. And that's, there are black, brown, and white people all over the place, handicapped people, right, people with disabilities. You can see those people from a mile away, you don't have to question. Gay people don't have that, we don't have signs. And they're scared, and they shouldn't be. They're scared to be themselves. I would have a serious problem if my kid had to grow up their entire life pretending to be somebody that they're not. Because that's not what society thinks you should be. I'm left-handed. Back in the day, you had to write with the other hand because it just wasn't normal. I've got a quadriplegic brother-in-law, a mentally disabled family member. I have an elderly mother that we take care of. And we run as a community together. So many times we've had to call 911. I brought this up the last time too. And apparently, so I have kids who play sports with other, parents who have a completely different outlook. And I'm okay with that. We get along. Our kids play the sports. And I commented about first responders. I don't question any of the first responders that I know or their integrity as far as whether or not they would do the right thing. Who I consider friends that I spoke with or spoke about a couple of weeks ago, I truly feel that. They're good people, they're good parents, they care about their community. And I think that it's all right that we have different opinions. But I don't think it's okay for people to not be allowed to be them.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, it's 1:14. Okay. Hi, my name is Tina Stamp. I am on 30 Willowdale Ave.
I come before the board today to ask not to modify the school flag policy so that it continues to cover all school committee areas as it states. The school needs to be a safe place for all students that attend to receive an education. School classrooms should only display material that has enhanced the curriculum held by the classroom. The scare tactic that you used to get teachers to show up today because their Spanish flag wouldn't be allowed in Spanish class is false. That enhances the curriculum. The classroom is not a place for each teacher to stand on a soapbox and teach their children what to think. They have the responsibility to teach them the curriculum and how to think for themselves. The 6-foot-long flag hung in the 8th grade civics room is there to make a statement. This teacher is known to teach an agenda, and the flag is not well received by the students, and that's why she decided to get a huge flag, because the other one was getting taken down. With her recent survey, she had the children take and share with peers. She violated Mass General Law, Chapter 71, Section 32. Students expressed that they were uncomfortable and asked to leave the class and were denied the ability to. Not only did she blatantly disregard the curriculum of civics, but she took the rights away from parents. How do you have someone blatantly break the law, causing mental and emotional harm to students, still working in a classroom? The board was aware of the event and chose to cover it up by deleting the information from Google Classroom. Why were the parents not notified of the abuse so they could talk to their children in support of the traumatic experience? Middle school children are building their formation on who they are as a person. They are worth so much more than their sexual preference. We shouldn't feel the need to label and classify children at the middle school age, sexual classification. Middle school is a time where we find new friends, sports, curriculum activities, and explore what feels right to the individual. Everyone at this developmental stage feels awkward, unsure of themselves, and gets left out. It doesn't mean that they're gay or trans. Unfortunately, with social media, they are more aware of getting left out, an increase of these anxiety and depressions. Unfortunately, as the world we live in, a flag is not going to fix or stop someone from having SI. Anyone with suicidal ideations would need a mental health specialist to navigate those feelings, and the school is not equipped to handle this level of care. I hope you understand the impact of the division of your policy change would have on our community and the legal liability you have for not protecting our children from the teacher's predatory behavior. By changing this policy, it's going to declare political warfare as stated, where someone's already purchased flags that she's going to hand out. Okay, we got flags over there that, we can hand out. Kids are going to start putting flags on their lockers. Is that the environment that we want in our education? So.
Terry Nato, 4 Constantine Drive. I don't envy the position you're in. However, I believe it is your responsibility as a school committee to put a policy in place regarding flags and decorations in classrooms. Currently, it's about what the policy states regarding displaying flags on school property and the semantics of that. But it's irresponsible to ignore that right now it's also about what flag is being displayed in the classroom. One group believes that minors in school buildings need to see certain flags so they know they are visible, accepted, supported, safe, etc. That a piece of fabric hung on a wall is necessary to help students feel comfortable in their skin and to convey those messages. That's a lot of power being given to an inanimate object. Another group feels the same piece of fabric hung on the wall makes them feel excluded and uncomfortable around the teacher that it has it in their classroom with their classmates. I challenge all of you to think back to when you were a kid and what things made you feel visible, accepted, supported, safe, and comfortable in your skin when you were in elementary, middle, and high school. For me, it was how the adults spoke to and treated me, if they engaged me in conversation, if they offered to help me. It wasn't about what they hung up in their classrooms or had displayed on their desks. If a flag or classroom decoration was not what came to mind when you thought about things in school that made you feel visible, accepted, supported, and safe, then the answer is clear. There's no need for an item that people state does that in the classrooms. We aren't so old that our lived experience is irrelevant yet. I loathe announcing or defining myself as part of a group that's described by a bunch of letters and symbols because I'm honestly much more than that. But to add a little relevance to my opinion, my child, who has 2 moms and was in the classroom with this flag that's supposed to do such wonderful things for the students, hated that she had to stare at this flag whenever the door to the classroom was shut. She cringed whenever the topic of sexuality came up in social studies class, and it did, because what was being said by the teacher she knows is not the reality of everyday gay people. We do actually eat Chick-fil-A. Lastly, I believe at the last meeting something was mentioned about figuring out how to keep students in the Tyngsborough Public Schools versus the other options like Greater Lowell Tech. After being at back to school night at GLT last week, I can tell you one thing that was very evident to my wife and I as we walked the halls and visited at least 6 classrooms. There were no ideological flags or decorations displayed in any of the classrooms we were in, and it's one of the things our kid that came from TMS noticed. So people can say hanging these flags is what the kids need. I'll tell you that for well-adjusted and educated kids, the reality is quite the opposite.
All right, thank you everybody for your comments. We'll move on to correspondence. Dr. All right, this will be our last speaker. We're over twice the time we've allotted for this.
Good evening. Al Stamp, 30 Willowdale Ave. I come before the board also to keep the policy as is. This all grew legs. I think everybody's made it well aware that this actual flag that was the topic of the conversation is more division than anything, and I think they will continue to do that. The actual crux of this whole thing was to keep the existing policy and keep it simple the way it's written. It keeps all of the other noise out of it. You can believe what you want to believe. We're wasting a lot of time and energy as a community. We just spent $88 million on this space that is built like most great companies are actually built right now. You get out in these hallways, what do you have? Open space, collaborative space. But we're going to continue to drive single narratives, personal feelings. Let the kids be kids. Let the kids get out in the halls. Put them together. Let them learn about each other. Not sit there and go, oh, that's my flag. Because you know what's going to happen? That kid's going to feel isolated. I have a unique ability where I live in 2 different worlds professionally. One where I can't talk to engineers over an email for more than 10 minutes. I got to meet with them because I don't speak their language. But when we meet, we fix problems. I also live in another side. I am a first responder, as referenced by other individuals. That I've either coached, tended your kid on the field, been absolutely blind of anything of your affiliations. I find it very hurtful that my wife, who brought this up, was called a ton of stuff real quick. My child actually had to be part of a bullying investigation, who most teachers that are going to be in this room that have seen her, one of my 4 kids that's been in this school system for 11 years, is probably one of the sweetest kids, was called a homophobe. She had to come home and we had to explain it to her. Because that stuff's not freaking taught in my house. Stop getting offended, learn about each other, be a community. Until you've sat in somebody's living room who's actually performed CPR on somebody after having an SI event, you guys don't know the story that comes out of that in the end. It's because that person didn't have anybody. By putting that person on an island, let them live in their phones, let them live this false reality in social media. It's all bullcrap. Get them out in the halls, figure out who they like. Nobody's gonna like everybody. It just doesn't work like that. The world isn't like that. The world is mean, it's cruel. You find people that you can go through life with. You have a gift right now, and as educators, I go in schools all over the state. I was so impressed when I walked through this school. You guys have an absolute blueprint to change an actual generation after they got screwed during COVID. Use it. Stop driving division.
All right, thank you to everybody who spoke tonight. We'll move on with the agenda. Correspondence, Dr. Flanagan.
Not at this time.
All right, personnel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have a couple notifications. We have a new hire, Mike Pinsence, as a TES paraprofessional. Welcome to Michael. We have 2 notices of resignation. One, Ryan Pike, who is our Director of Facilities. He'll be leaving us after a year of service. And Nate Takata after 3 years of service from THS at this point. He was at ES. And that's it.
Thank you. Share the success. Cam?
Good evening, Good evening, everyone. At the elementary school, we are very excited to announce that students will be coming back to the school library this week. Each class in grades kindergarten through 5th grade will have a chance to check out books every other week. We've been working hard to update the library with new books and displays, and Mrs. Greenwood, our library assistant, can't wait to show them off to everyone. This week, teachers administered the Dibbles 8th edition, meaning Dynamic Indicators of Basic Early Literacy Skills. which is a reading screener given 3 times per year in the fall, winter, and spring. It helps us measure key early literacy skills and identify students who may need extra support. A huge thank you to our parent volunteers who will be joining us on October 22nd for our annual walkathon. Families will receive an email with details this week. We appreciate everyone's support in making this a successful event. This week is Spirit Week at the middle school. Each day is a different dress-up day. For example, today was to wear your favorite sports jersey team. Thursday is to wear pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Friday is Tiger Pride Day. This Friday, the 8th grade students will attend the high school pep rally. The yearbook committee is starting next week, and the practices for the play have started. It's great to hear students singing in the halls after school. We have many congratulations for the high schoolers again. Congratulations to the newest member of the National Honor Society. Induction will be held Wednesday, October 8th at 6:30 p.m. Congratulations to the Tiger Pride Award recipients. Students are nominated by staff for displaying tremendous character in accordance with THS's core values. Congratulations to the October Students of the Month, Ava Crane, Isabella Duarte, Tess Fahey, and Cola Tor. Homecoming week is underway. We are excited for a week celebrating school spirit, and FYI seniors are crushing it. Come out and support the Tigers Friday night and Saturday. Friday has football at 6 p.m. Saturday, field hockey is at 11. Girls soccer is at 1. Boys soccer is at 3. Good luck to all our athletes. Thank you.
Good job, Sharon.
There are no subcommittee updates at this time. Unfinished business, MSBA update, Dr. Flanagan.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. We'll jump into the slide deck at this point. Just a reminder about upcoming meetings, school building committee meeting next Wednesday night. And then right now, tentatively, our last school building committee meeting will be on November 18th, at which point we'll have some kind of final report as to where we stand in terms of the budget, which is exciting, and then our regular school committee meetings. So we're the first slide, MSBA update. Basically, we're at the final stages right now. I think the project will come to completion within a month, is the hope right now. They poured concrete sidewalks today. They're working on the shot put discus area out behind the high school. Final paving right now is scheduled for the 20th of October right out here in the community lot. Things are going very well out there. All this week, they're performing perk testing on the field to make sure the drainage is appropriate. Next week, soil will go in the outfield of the softball field, and they'll put the clay in the infield. And then right now, the punch list, which was at over 100 items, is down under 50 items and will be completed by October 19th. So things are going great. Everyone had the opportunity to see the new glass in the cafeteria area. We have a couple more MDF boards that need to be swapped out. But ongoing, it's been really great to work with Left Field and Fontaine and JCJ. They're doing a great job and kind of punch this stuff at this point, so we're in great shape. That's all I have for MSBA.
All right, thank you. Competency determination, Mr. Woodlock.
Yes, so just a brief update from me this evening on competency determination. Quick review, the competency determination, something that came about last year. We talked about it in January. Competency determinations are not equivalent to high school graduation requirements. We have those for ourselves, but when MCAS was eliminated by vote in Massachusetts for 10th graders as a graduation requirement, we had to submit, and you may remember, competency determination. So as a reminder, what that looks like is that the competency determinations for Tyngsborough High School are successful completion of grade 9 and 10 English, successful completion of Algebra 1 and Geometry, and successful completion of biology, chemistry, physics, or tech and engineering. So that's what we approved last year. The DESE has added some additional components that I need to verify that school committee is aware of and approves of so that I can submit it so that we can be in compliance. So briefly what those are, and these have already been in place, but they have identified that we need to have a mastery component in addition to simply passing the courses. And what most districts are doing, if they have final exams for everything, which we do not, they tend to use those, and you have to pass the final exam. Since we don't have final exams for every class, sometimes it's a project, and we give our teachers autonomy. We're saying that students would have to have a passing grade of 60% or better on all summative assessments, the average summative assessments for the course, in lieu of a final exam grade, which we wouldn't have for everyone. Additionally, and this is already in place, For any specific subgroups, providing students with necessary accommodations. So if we have special education students or ML students who receive accommodations for testing on MCAS, they would receive those testing accommodations for the summative evaluations. Those are things that we already have in place. Additionally, if we have late enrolling students, we have to have a process for identifying if they would have met our competency determination. So to give you an idea, if we had a student that transferred in from another town, district, or another state, our counseling department at the high school has to place them somewhere. So typically, they make calls to that sending school and identify if they pass certain courses or equivalent courses that would meet where our courses are, so they can place them. So that policy and practice, not policy, would continue to be in place. So if a student met similar equivalent courses in another district or state, we would accept those if they would meet our competency determinations. And lastly, something that we had to create here, but makes perfect sense, an appeals process that if a student were not granted competency determination, I want to make sure people know this, like, we haven't had any students going back in history as far as we have records that would not have met our competency determination. But should a student be deemed not meeting the competency determination, there's a process for it that they can appeal to the principal, and they'll have time to present their case to the principal. So what I'll be seeking from the committee tonight is just an approval that you're aware of this, that I can submit to DESE by the November deadline to have our paperwork in, that we're up to date on competency determination. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Does anybody have any questions? I will seek a motion to approve as presented.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? That carries.
Thank you so much.
7-0. Thank you, Dr. LeBlanc. New business, TPS policy discussion. We take these one at a time. So I will seek a motion to accept policies FG flags as a second read.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? That carries 7-0. I'll seek a motion to accept JLCD Student Med Administration as a second read.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? That carries 7-0. And finally, seek a motion to accept JG MS Pathway as a second read.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? That carries 7-0. Finance, Mr. Messina?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So tonight, 10 warrants were presented of bills to the committee. I do have them all back approved. As always, in your drive is the list of warrant numbers, accounts, and amounts. And for signing of payroll, 2 payrolls to update the committee on. That is the payroll of September 22nd and October 6th. And again, those amounts are in your drive as well. And that is it for finance.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
School committee discussion. Cam?
I'm all set, thank you.
I'm all set.
I'm all set, thank you.
I'd like to thank everyone that came out tonight. Personally, I have to say this. I've spent my personal as well as professional life supporting and advocating for equality, inclusion, diversity. Many of us who grew up in Revere, we had family who were Holocaust survivors, so I know what can be done with that. And I support the inclusion of the flag. As we taught our son and daughter as they went to school here and graduated from Tyngsborough High, doesn't make a difference the color of your skin, color of your hair, your gender, your religion. It's what's in a person's heart that makes the difference. And hopefully they treat you with the same respect that you're giving them. And I hate to see the fact that we have what has turned into real division in this town, similar to what we're seeing across the country. It's time to put those differences aside and start talking to each other again. Thank you.
I'm all set.
I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for coming out tonight and sharing your points of view. Obviously, everyone in this room doesn't agree, We're not all always going to agree, but I appreciate that everyone came. You were kind, you were polite, and I think we need to set a good example for the youth in town moving forward, to choose kindness, to show them that we're not always going to agree. But you have to treat each other like human beings, we have to be kind and be respectful, and you can do that with someone even if you don't agree with them. The name calling, the being unkind to each other is just, it's not a great way moving forward. It's not a great way to be. It's definitely not what we want for our community. It's definitely not what we want for our schools. So, thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being polite. Thank you for being respectful. And hopefully we can keep this polite conversation moving forward. Thank you.
I also just want to thank everybody for coming out this evening. I am a firm believer that there's far more that unites us than divides us. Far more. Regardless of where I do or don't stand on any flag that is flown, I think that that is something that we are losing sight of in this country, and I think we saw that evident in this town this week on social media too. I know during COVID, I didn't agree with some of the people in this room, and I had side conversations, and like now we like chat in the grocery store. So like, let's remember that we are all human first. Everybody in this room, all of our kids. And I think that at the end of the day, we can all agree that regardless of anything else, there is not a person in this room who doesn't want the best for every single student in our town. And so thank you everybody for coming out tonight. To echo what Stacy said, thank you everybody for being respectful, because we're not seeing that in some of the other districts in similar meetings across the country. And I think that is one of the benefits as a small town. So thank you. That's all I got.
I have no comment.
Mr. Locke?
Nothing, thank you.
Just to echo the comments, thank you everyone for coming up tonight. We appreciate it. Appreciate to hear your perspective and your input. I'd like to thank the administrators for being here tonight. Our goal is to put our kids first, everything we do. Do we do it perfectly every day? No, but that's our goal, and that's what we strive to do each and every day. I have been in this community for a long time. I value the Tyngsborough Public Schools. I value this community. I value the kids every day. And they're at the forefront of every decision we try to make. Good, bad, or indifferent, we're working for the best for our kids, and that's all I have to say. We do have a need for executive session.
Yep. I'd like to congratulate all the inductees into NHS tomorrow night. That's an amazing accomplishment, so I hope they enjoy that. I'd also like to echo the thoughts. Thank you for everybody who came to participate. I'd like to invite you to our future meetings. It's nice having a crowd. You guys are respectful, well-spoken. Again, not everybody's going to be happy, but this is part of the process, right? So I really appreciate how everybody conducted themselves tonight. We do have a need for executive session to discuss the reputation, character, physical condition, or mental health rather than professional competence of an individual, or to discuss the discipline or dismissal of, or complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual. We will return from the executive session only to adjourn the regular session meeting. I am seeking a motion to enter into the executive session. This action requires a roll call vote.
So moved.
Second?
Tony?
In favor. In favor.
In favor.
In favor.
In favor?
In favor.
In favor. We are adjourned. Have a good night, everybody.